some of the players that we were working with were fast-tracked to a world-class programme almost immediately and moved over to Denmark. So probably maybe 5 or 6 of the players that have been selected to play in London 2012 are actually from the club that I was initially working with. So 2 girls have just been selected in the final 14. And I also helped out on the Sporting Giants project and the Talent ID project, which was designed to get players from other sports. Worked on that at the start, so a couple of those players have gone through to be selected for 2012.
So this is all work that you've been involved in since we won the bid?
Since we won the bid, but mainly it's setting up the new club that we've set up across the Rochdale and the Greater Manchester area. So we started that project with a teacher from Sidor Moor School and some teachers from Royton and Crompton School in Oldham. We started a pilot scheme where we just held trials for their talented athletes. And they played for Greater Manchester, and then there was a hunger from them to set a club up. So we set the Manchester Hawks club up 3 years ago, and since then we've had several players selected for England junior level and Great Britain junior level. We've since become national under-18s boys and girls champions and second division champions with an under-18s team of all kids that were brand new to the sport. 3 years ago, they'd never even heard of handball. So that's the legacy that I wanted to be part of, is a club that kids could come to, whether they were really, really talented and they wanted to pursue it maybe as a career going forward, or they just wanted to play for fun. So at the end of this season, we've got 3 players from this club who have no idea whether there's going to be a world-class programme for handball after 2012, which we hope there is. But they are going over to Denmark to pursue a career in handball, which I think if we'd never met, is an opportunity that they would never have got, really.
Fantastic. So you've been involved in both setting up the clubs but also the coaching?
Setting up the club, but mainly coaching. That's mainly what I do. So I've coached over in Warrington, where we set a girls' team up over there. And then I moved, like I say, closer to home, really, which is what I wanted to do. So it was local to me in the area that I lived in and I worked in. So, and as well as coaching here, I'm also England under-18 girls head coach. And I've also coached this season at GB under-21, which was at the World Championship qualifiers, where we didn't do great, but it's a start. You have to start somewhere. Yeah. And it gives I think the players that we've worked with, it's given them different aspirations in their life. It's shown them a different way to go. And it sounds quite contrived, but it was never just about trying to create handball players. It was about trying to get young people to look at things differently and to be... I know through playing handball, I've travelled to different countries. I've met lots of different people. It's made me more ambitious in what I do in my day-to-day job, and it's working with young people through sport has made me a better person. And it sounds completely contrived, but it's completely true, and it helps me deal with people in a different way working with young people.
You're preaching to the converted, so you're okay. So since we won the bid, has there been a standout moment?
I think there's almost too many to pinpoint them. But I think the standout moment for me possibly was definitely what we've achieved here with the club and the players that we've worked with, because we never, myself and my friends who set the club up, we never came into this to win trophies, but this season we went to the national finals and we won 8 trophies that day. 6 trophies as a team and then 2 individual trophies for people involved in the club. And for me to see how hard the kids have worked to get from never picking up a handball to now being some of the best players and the most talented players that the country's produced, that's for me every day, seeing the kids working hard at training and giving 100% and really buying into what our mission statements are really for what we want to achieve.
Mhm.
They've really bought into that, and that for me is the standout moment. It is every single day coming, working with kids that I love working with, and there is, I suppose, the feedback that you get from them.
So the question I would ask them, so within all your involvement and all those moments, what's the moment that mattered to you and the moment that inspired you and made you feel part of the games?
God, that's a really hard question to answer. The moment that mattered was the day we got the Olympics. That was the moment that mattered, because that was when, all my life, when I wanted to be a famous handball player, and I knew it could never happen in this country. And you can speak to people every single day and say, oh yeah, well, I play handball or I coach handball. And they go, yeah, whatever, what's that? Now, people kind of, they get it a bit more, because there's an understanding that this sport is a big sport, and because it's an Olympic sport. And that moment when we got the Olympics, the elation, and then the thought process in my head is, I've got to do something that matters. Because if I don't, then yeah, handball will be in the Olympics, there for 2 weeks in London, really nice. I think it's called the Copper Box, really nice stadium. But then, if we don't do something now, then it'll be forgotten the minute the torch goes down. Nobody then will be bothered about handball. So that was the moment that mattered, definitely, because that was then when I realised I've got to work hard to make sure that people remember this, and there's some people playing handball and young people to take my legacy forward, and the legacy that the people that coached me when I was a kid gave